Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review the new Southern Gothic thriller, Violent Ends. And this is from writer-director John Michael Powell, and focuses on a Southern revenge thriller of star-crossed lovers set against the backdrop of Ozark Mountains. Violent Ends chronicles the life of Lucas Frost, an honorable and honest man brought up in a crime family whose only legacy is violence. And this film is raw. It is intense. It is brutal. It pulls you in. It does not let you go over the course of this almost 2-hour thriller that Powell is able to sink his hooks in you and just pull you down into the muck that is this story. And it feels very reminiscent of us, the audience, being pulled down into this, similar to Billy Magnuson's Lucas, who is hooked into this situation. He has this tender, beautiful little relationship with Alexander Shipp's character, and when things go awry and tragedy strikes, him and his brother, played by Nick Stahl, must go toe-to-toe with the darker elements of the Frost family, including James Badge Dale's Sid Frost. And this film is brutal. It is visceral. The camera work is so crisp and precise, and cinematographer Elijah Guess does an amazing job of grabbing you, pulling you in, and putting you into this really intense, unrelenting film. And there's action sequences where the camera is so crisp and follows along so well and really gets you in there, puts you up close and personal to these violent acts that are bloody and brutal and don't leave anybody unscathed. You have this intense, foreboding score from Anthony Willis, which is just the bedrock for creating so much tension here. The camera work and what Powell's able to do building tension in this film is electrifying. It grabs you and shakes you. And this film is full of so much violence, and violence is such an important theme to this story. This violence follows. Violence destroys. It's a wildfire that burns everything to the ground. And the spark is lit for a desperate, honest man. And we see Billy Magnuson go from this loving, honest, and kind man with great chemistry with Alexander Shipp. Their dynamic really grabs you and just makes what happens next so much harder. But we see Magnuson becoming more and more intense, being lost to this revenge and blinded by this decision to just give up everything else that he has in his life to take out his family member, played by James Badge Dale, and Sid, this man who's doing all these horrible things. And this film does not shy away from violence and the themes around violence and what violence can beget. More violence for sure. And there's one particular sequence towards the very end of the film is just this domino effect of violence, this chain violence that becomes so intense but also so hard to escape when you're wind up being brought down so deeply into this situation. And this film has twists and turns and really makes you question the integrity of those around you and who can you really trust. And when you strip away all of these supports, this film really shows a place where your only option is violence. And the world that Powell creates here is so visceral, so intense, it always feels like there's just a weapon and there's violence around every corner. And this film really captures that tone, that vibe. And this film tells a harrowing story of just how deep and corrupt these families can be who own so much and really trying to protect the others. And this film really does a great job of focusing on how far will you be pushed when something horrible happens to you and you feel desperate enough to follow and do any of those types of things. And that's the journey that Lucas goes on, and Magnuson kills it. His mother, Katie Burton, is a police officer, and her challenges of like, will she turn in her sons who wind up getting caught up in all this? Nick Stahl plays such a frail and, you know, one of those types of characters that you don't expect to do much. And he's challenged and he's pushed because he's really after this connection and him giving in to his brother and going on this journey. There's very intense moments. There's shockingly brutal moments. This film does not pull punches when it comes to this wild shootout. And there's a lot more truth to be had for this situation. That's what makes this story so fascinating for sure. But those are my thoughts on Violent Ends. Let me know what you think and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland Reviewer.